Hey everyone, it's Ephraim here from Passpoint Comics. When I do these videos, I try to do them all in one take, but this is like my fourth or fifth try trying to do this video. A couple times the audio is not working, I can't figure out why, so hopefully, knock on wood, everything will be okay this time. Now, when I do my videos, you guys are saying, well, here comes new comic books that you've gotten. Well, since my last video, I haven't gotten that many new comics. This is what I basically have gotten so far. I haven't opened them up yet. So I decided to do a comics that I got from CGC that I've gotten throughout the years. Before I go any further though, please hit that like and subscription button and hit the notification button. If this is your first time on my channel, thanks for watching, and people who always view my channels, I really appreciate it. You know, I do this because comic books is one of the passions of my life. So hopefully you like the content I'm about to show you. So these are CGC books. And the reason I'm showing you this first one is that this is the very first CGC book that I ever got. My cousin gave me this book, so Rob, thanks, I think. It got me in the path of collecting CGC books. This is All-Star Batman and Robin, The Boy Wonder #2. Came out in November of 2005. I always tease my cousin every now and then. I give him calls, I go, this is all your fault. He had to give me a CGC book. I collected obviously comic books before that, but I just never got one encapsulated in the CGC. And when he got this one, something clicked in my head, and I've gotten so many more. So there's another story behind my next one. This is The Walking Dead #19. I won this in a raffle, and what happened is it was on Instagram, and they have raffles. You basically pick numbers like 1 through 100, and you pay a certain amount for each spot. And when I picked the number, I was going to pick a random number, but I asked my niece Clara, hey, can you pick the numbers for me? I think I did about 2 or 3 of them, and she picked the winning number for me. So I got Walking Dead #19 from Image Comics. If it wasn't for you, Clara, I wouldn't have gotten this book. And next time I come to visit, don't forget, we're gonna go eat out, get some surf and turf. And when we get back to your home, we're gonna watch that Blue Sea Marathon you promised we were going to watch. Yeah, I mean, I was so jazzed when I won this one, the very first Michonne. I was like, wow. I thanked her so much that when I won, you know, if it wasn't for her picking that number for me, I wouldn't have gotten this book. So my next one is Avengers #4. It's the very first Captain America, signed by Stan Lee. This one came out in March of 1964. Some of these books are from my own collection that I bought when I was younger. And some of these I bought from sellers directly or on eBay or even on Instagram. Sometimes they don't have raffles, they just sell books there, and you know, I buy them every now and then. The very first Silver Age return of Captain America, Avengers #4. Next one is Fantastic Four Fantastic Four #73. It came out in 1968. It's a giant guest star bonanza, signed by Stan Lee. I always like when characters from other books do like crossover events. This one has Daredevil, Thor, and Spider-Man on the cover. And as usual, I'm going to have the books here on the side too. Next one is another Fantastic Four. It's #10. Came out in 1963, signed by Stan Lee also. Dr. Doom is on the cover of this one. Next up is one of my Hulk 181, the very first full appearance of Wolverine. This one I got from a seller directly, and I sent it to him to get it signed by Herb Trimpe. So when I sent it to him, you know, you get very nervous when you send a book out. At least I do. You know, God, you know, who is this person? We just communicated through emails, you know, or texting, and I sent him the book, and he had it signed by Herb Trimpe. And he said, hey, I hope you don't mind. I had him draw a little Wolverine on the cover, so he did it right here, I believe. He drew it. I said, that's awesome. So I had it, you know, encapsulated, graded. Afterwards, there was a signing by Stan Lee, So I decided to get him sign it. So I told CGC to crack it open and to get Stan Lee's signature, but to press and clean it again, hoping, you know, the grade won't go down or stay the same, and it stayed the same at 7.5. This one is Amazing Spider-Man number 129, the very first Punisher. This one came back a 9.2. It's signed by Jerry Conway, John Romita, and Stan Lee. Now, I bought this directly from a seller, and I was hesitant to buy it at first, not because anything wrong with the book. It was expensive. You know, I was like, I buy books, but until maybe the last 10 or so years, I started buying more and more expensive books, and this one was expensive. So I almost hesitated, and he said, come on, it's a nice book, you know, it's a good price, I'm giving you a fair deal, and he did, and I'm glad I got it. This next one is Silver Surfer, number 4. It's Silver Surfer versus Thor. I've been trying to buy, 18 issues came out of Thor, and I'm trying to get them all. So I've been doing some biddings on eBay, but I haven't been the winning bid. But I've gotten maybe about 3 or 4 of them so far. Once I have them all together, I'm gonna do a special video just for these, just to show them that I got them all. So don't know how long it's gonna take. So maybe months, maybe years, but hopefully I'll get them. Got another Fantastic Four here, 2 of them. This first one is Fantastic Four number 48. The first appearance of Silver Surfer and Galactus as a cameo, and the Watcher's on the cover of this one. Get some more room here. Another Fantastic Four. This is the very first Black Panther, signed by Stan Lee. It came out in July of 1966. Fantastic Four number 52. This next one is another Hulk 181. This one, like my The Walking Dead one, I won in a raffle, and I picked the numbers this time, so I was just fortunate. You know, it's a random draw, and you pick a number, and if your number comes up, number 1, you win it, and I did. This one I kind of want to get it regraded. Hopefully it'll come out as a higher grade. I did get it recapsulated. They put in a new case, but I wanted that Hulk banner on top. But I'm thinking I may send it to them again to have them press and clean it, and hopefully come back higher than a 6.5. You just take a chance. You just really don't know. Especially with these older books. Next one is Uncanny X-Men, number 510, signed by J. Scott Campbell with Psylocke on the cover. There's a black and white version cover of this one. Not a version cover, but just it's a black and white cover, and there's a spot of little colors on there, but basically it's just black and white. And that one is very expensive, and you don't see it too much on eBay. I've seen it a couple times, and the bidding just goes crazy. People are asking for, like, I think one time it was over $10,000. I went, dang. You know, I'd rather buy a Silver Age book if it was over $10,000 myself. Next one is Spawn, number 300, signed by Todd McFarlane. Came out in September of 2019. When you get cases from CGC, some of them are thicker than others. I'm not exactly sure why. I mean, I've never asked them. I guess I can just send them an email or a text or something. He goes, why are some cases thicker than the others? I'm not sure. I mean, most of these comic books are just the same thickness, so I'm not sure what's their reasoning behind that. I'm sure they have one, but I just don't know what it is. Now this one is, most of these books I bought when I was a kid. Now this one, it's Amazing Spider-Man number 300. I had it in my box for years and years. It came out in May of 1988. When I took it out, I noticed that there was some like rippling on the covers. The whole book was kind of all wavy. So I was like, gosh, you know, there was no water stains on it that I had seen, so I'm not sure why. It was 300 and 301, and for some reason, you know, it got all wavy. So what I did is I sent it to CGC to get it signed by Stan Lee, and they cleaned and pressed it, and it came back a 9.0. So I have it. So last year, about this time, Todd McFarlane was getting ready to do a signing at CGC, a private signing. So I sent the book in again, and I told them I wanted Todd McFarlane's signature on it. So they, cracked it open, but I told them to press and clean it again. So like I said, my first grade was a 9.0, and to my surprise, this one jumped. It came back at 9.4. So my thinking is, if I get another signature, and I tell them to clean it and press it again, it'll come back at 9.8. Something I will never do. It's gonna stay at 9.4. I'm not gonna crack this one open ever again. So, as I said, a lot of these books I bought when I was a kid, and one of the first books that really, I really enjoyed was the Defenders. When there was a crossover between the Defenders and the Avengers, they were basically fighting each other. And this is Defenders number 10. It has the Hulk and Thor fighting each other on the cover. And inside the book also. When I first started collecting comic books, like I said, I read them. I mean, I enjoy them. I enjoy reading them. I enjoy collecting them. If they go up in price, good. If they don't, I'm not in it to make a big, profit from them. If I ever do sell them, if I make money off them, great. But I bought them, like I said, I started buying comic books and reading them when I was a kid. That was why I bought them, to read. Next one up is Secret Wars, Marvel Superhero Secret Wars number 8, the very first symbiote, who later obviously became Venom, for those of you who don't know. I wish I could have gone, if I could go back in time, I would tell my younger self, hey, buy more of these books. Don't just grab one and go home, buy more. They're 25 cents, 50 cents. I said, gosh, why didn't I get more of these? I just didn't think about it, so I just grabbing one and I was happy with it. I grew up in the Bay Area, and one time I was at a comic book convention, and it was in a hotel, not like the conventions like San Diego Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con. These were basically just vendors selling their books and in boxes, and you would just buy them. And I was outside of the hotel, I was a teenager, and there was this gentleman there, and I looked at him, I go, gosh, is that? It was Jack Kirby, and he was smoking a cigar, and I was just like staring at him. He was there with another gentleman, they were just talking, and I just stared, and I didn't say a word to him. I just went, man, I look back on that time, I'm going, why didn't I just go up to him and say hi? I heard afterwards that he was such a nice person, and he would always talk to his fans, and I just was dumbstruck. I just stared at him. If only phones were available, cell phones were available then, I would have took a selfie with him. So this next one is Fantastic Four number 28. It's another crossover with the X-Men, signed by Stan Lee. Came out in July of 1964. Now when I see creators, or when I go to conventions, if anybody remembers what those are, if I see a creator or somebody that I know that's an artist or whomever, and I go up to them and say hi. I say, hey, I'm a big fan, I collect your books, and I talk to them about their books so they know them, that I know what I'm talking about, and I never stop talking to people now when I go to conventions. This next one is King Size Avengers, number 10, the very first Rogue. She's not the main character on this cover. She's just got like a little appearance right in the back of this cover. You can hardly see her. I'm pointing at her right there. You probably can't see her, but she's right there. She wasn't the main character of this cover at all. This next one is Invincible Iron Man number 1. Came out in May of 1968. I got another J. Scott Campbell book here. It's X-Men number 205, signed by Stan Lee, J. Scott Campbell, and Tim Townsend. Now the reason I'm showing this one is because CGC, when they do their gradings, it can go like from a 0.5 to 10.0. 10.0 being like nothing's wrong with it at all. No bends, no creases, nothing, no tears. I've never gotten a 10.0. The highest I've gotten has been, up to now, has been a 9.8 and below. This one though, it was signed by J. Scott Campbell in March of 2019. I believe it was at Emerald Con in Seattle. CGC was there, because whenever you have a signature signed by an artist, CGC has to be with you, a person that works for CGC, to authenticate the signature. If you get it signed by them, an artist, and then you take it to CGC without them authenticating it, they won't verify the signature. Saying they'll give it a blue label or a different label saying, basically that means it wasn't verified by this person, that the artist signed it. But this one was, and this is my only 9.9. I was so happy when I got this one. I was like, wow, 9.9. I showed it to my family and friends. I look at some of my comic books that I send in to CGC, and to me, there's nothing wrong with them that I see. My eye view, I was like, wow, this looks like a 10.0 to me, but I've never gotten one. Now this one is Giant Size X-Men #1. I remember, again, when I was a kid, I went to a comic book store, and they were just sitting there in a pile, a bunch of them, and I just grabbed one. I'll grab one, I'll give it a try, see how it is. Never thought it would blow up like they did. I was like, gosh, why didn't I grab like a whole bunch of them? But I just did one. Next up is Daredevil #16. This one was signed by Stan Lee. There's a story behind this one also. So when you get comic books to get signed, basically you prep them beforehand. And I was prepping this book, and I took it out of its bag, and there was a piece of tape on the back of the flap to keep it in place. So when I took the tape out, somehow I dropped it or something, and it just fluttered in the air, and it landed right on the comic book, right on Spider-Man's knee. I was like, dang it! I was like, how am I going to get this tape off of this book? And this book is from 1966, so it's not as strong as it was when it first came out, obviously. So all I could do was pull the tape out, which I did, and part of the cover came off with it. I was just so angry at myself, just saying, come on, such a rookie mistake. You always take the tape off and put it to its side, but it happened. I still got it graded though, and I got it signed by Stan Lee, but it has that missing part of his leg, and you can see it right there, it's white. That's the part that it just came off. I was like, oh gosh. It happened, so I said, oh well, what can I do now? So I just still got it signed by him, and I got a decent grade. This next one is Wonder Woman #38. It's a David Finch cover. And I have a lot more CGC books that I haven't shown you. Maybe I'll do another video when if no books come in, I'll be able to do more videos of just my CGC books or other books that I've gotten in the past that have not been CGC, but just part of my collection. This next one, another story. This is Edge of Spider-Verse Gwen Stacy. Is the first appearance of the new Spider-Woman, Gwen Stacy. I got 2 of these. I sent them to CGC. They sent them back to me. When they send books back to you, they give you a tracking number. And this one came by United States Postal Service, and they gave me a tracking number. When it got here, I wasn't home, so they didn't deliver it. They left a little a note saying, hey, we tried delivering your books. You want to come pick it up at our office, which is just down the block from my house, basically. I did, and when I got there, I gave them the little note that had the tracking number, all the information, and they couldn't find it. I was like, you're kidding me. I went, come on. So this went on for about at least 3 weeks. It seems like that. It just became a blur after a while. I would show up like almost every day. Can you look again? Where is it? What happened? We talked to the driver. He doesn't remember, exactly what happened afterwards. I was going, come on, it has to be here somewhere. So, I went, and then the lady that was helping me says, hang on, let me look somewhere else. She came out with the 2 books. She says, I'm so sorry, for some reason they were put in a vault. Don't know, they didn't know that this post office even had a vault. Why would I ask? But somebody put it in the so-called vault, and that's where it was. So, you know, long story, you know, sorry, but I got them. But it just took weeks to get there, and it was very frustrating. Anybody who collects comic books must, hopefully you don't have much horror stories of books being lost or books being damaged. You know, that's the frustrating part. I live in the West Coast, you know, CGC is in Florida, so when I send books to them, they have to go by mail or UPS or FedEx or whatever, and you know, they get there and then they send them back to me. So, you know, that's the only way if you want to get them encapsulated. Some people just don't, you know. I have so many that are not, but I do like them encapsulated. Next one, I got to sign at Emerald Con, is Animosity #1, signed and sketched by Marguerite Bennett. Basically, it's by Aftershock Comics, and basically, you know, the story is what would have happened, or what happens when animals start talking and thinking. Dogs, cats, horses, dolphins, whales, bees, ants, every known animal in the planet starts talking, and how the earth has to adapt, or how the human race has to adapt. She signed it, and she also drew a little bear like paw right here. Probably can't see it, it's so small. But she was a very nice person to talk to. Like I said, when I go to conventions, you know, I do like talking to the artists for a couple minutes. I know I hold up the lines, but I just enjoy talking to them. Next one is Inhumans #1 by J. Scott Campbell, Charles Soule, and Stan Lee. It's Medusa on the cover. I really enjoy this cover because just the way he drew her hair. It's just like everywhere on the cover. Next up is Incredible Hulk #340 with another appearance of Wolverine on the cover by Todd McFarlane. Next one is one of two of my Star Wars books. This is Star Wars #42, and now the Bounty Hunters. Boba Fett and other bounty hunters are on the cover. This is the very first Star Wars, and actually these are from when I bought them as a kid. You know, I kept them in my box all these years and just decided to get them pressed and cleaned and encapsulated. Both of them came back a 9.0. Next one is the very first Wasp, Janet Van Dyne, and Tales to Astonish, #44, came out in June of 1963. This is becoming my longest video. Sorry about that, but I hope you enjoy it. Next up is Ms. Marvel, #1 by Michael Turner. Whenever this cover comes up, and if I remember it, if I see it on eBay or at a store or at a convention, I try to get it. Just something about this cover, you know, makes me always want to purchase it. There's a black and white version of it too, which I have here. I'll show it to you once it comes up. This is Monstrous #1 by Marjorie Liu, Image Comics. I had her sign this at San Diego Comic-Con. Next up is Daredevil #168, the very first Elektra. After I'm done here with this video and posting it on YouTube, I'm going to put all these comic books away. Never to be seen again, as I told my cousin, once we get these books, put it away and I'll never see them again. Next one is Avengers #2. It came out in November of 1963. Hopefully one of these days I'll get Avengers #1. This one is a reprint. I got this at San Diego Comic-Con back in 2017. It's a reprint of Superman Batman #8, the Virgin cover by Michael Turner. The one from the original one came out in May of 2004. That's a highly thought after comic book, but this is a reprint. But it's still a nice looking book, so I just wanted to get it. It's Supergirl on the cover. Next up is all new, all different X-Men #95. This is when the new team came on board. This is X-Men Red from April of 2018. It's Ji Hung Lee Virgin cover. This is when X-23 took over Wolverine when he died. But of course he's come back. They all come back. She became Wolverine for a little while. This one is Amazing Spider-Man number 16. Came out in September of 1964. Signed by Stan Lee. Another Daredevil Spidey cover. This is Daredevil's like original cover. I mean costume color. It was like yellow and black. This is a Scotty Young book. I've mentioned Scotty Young books in the past in my other videos. His characters that he draws, this superhero kids, always, I like them. So whenever I see them, I try to get at least one of them. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 1. Came out in June of 2014. It's signed by Dan Slott and Stan Lee. I got a few more here. This is another Ms. Marvel number 1. Came out in May of 2006. Michael Turner cover. This is the black and white version of it that I was talking to you about earlier. And some of you have noticed some of these labels or banners on top are yellow and some are blue. The yellow ones indicate that an artist signed it. So, that's basically the difference of them. This is Ultimate Fallout number 4, the very first appearance of Miles Morales. Another one that I bought. Nobody knew Miles Morales was going to be as popular as he is now, and I was fortunate enough to get the very first issue that he came out at, and it came back a 9.8. So my last book is Amazing Spider-Man number 678. It was signed by Stan Lee and Humberto Ramos. It's Mary Jane Watson, Spider-Man's girlfriend, but she's the Venom symbiote on this one. And it's signed by, like I said, by Stan Lee and Humberto Ramos. Came back at 9.6. This is the last one. I have a lot more, but I'm just showing you some of them. So, my next video, hopefully I'll have more books, more recent books from everybody that I've gotten books from. And then, hopefully, oh yeah, one more thing. Hopefully, I'm going to have a guest host. I'm trying to arrange it with them, and they're trying to fit. I'm trying to fit them into my schedule and their schedule. So we're trying to get together. So hopefully next time I'm going to have a guest host. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but hopefully you'll be surprised by the host. And that's all I have for you this time. This is Ephraim from Past Point One Comics. Please take care and be safe out there.